I've come to Africa to reveal the full horrors of a sordid practice that shames this vast and beautiful continent. Indeed, it shames us all. It's the captive lion industry, in which Africa's most iconic wild animal is bred, reared, and eventually killed, either as a trophy or for its bones. Some of the practices involved in keeping and shooting the captive lions are illegal too, as are the methods in which carcasses are smuggled out of the country. This activity, which takes place in South Africa, is squalid and cruel. Behind me here in the African bush is a magnificent lion living as it should in the wild. This animal is utterly majestic, rightly described as the king of the jungle. For decades as a tourist, armed only with a camera, I have enjoyed observing lions, the pride of Africa. I find it incomprehensible that people should want to breed, mistreat, and kill thousands of captive bred lions, motivated by nothing more than personal greed. This cruel industry must be stopped. In my determination to uncover unethical and illegal activities, I commissioned a major undercover operation, codenamed Operation Simba, in which former special forces and security operatives infiltrated the captive lion industry.
Taken to the skies in a helicopter to get a real sense of where the various locations my undercover team have been investigating. I wanted to see them for myself.
In a day spent flying over South Africa's vast Free State province, I saw a handful of the 200-plus farms where lions are bred and reared. Below me it was clear that huge areas of land are being used to keep lions, enclosed behind wire fences with minimal space and shelter. The scale of the captive breeding operations is breathtaking. And put bluntly, South Africa is now the center for what can only be called lion farming, carried out on an industrial scale. There are no official figures, but it is believed there are now as many as 12,000 captive bred lions in South Africa. Incredibly, this is about 4 times the total of wild lions in that country. There are an estimated 20,000 wild lions in the world, 1/10 of the number a century ago. Fears are growing from respected conservationists that wild lions could become extinct in less than 30 years. Colin Bell, a South African conservationist, explained to me why canned lion hunting needs to be banned.
Remember 10 years ago, we didn't have a captive lion industry. There was nothing. So we survived quite comfortably 10 years ago. We don't need this as an industry. This is an industry which has sprung up out of people seeing an opportunity to make an extraordinary amount of money from the king of the beasts. Here we've got an industry which is just there for money. It's for profit. And there's only a small number of people who really drive and thrive in this industry. Maybe 80 people, maybe 100, for absolutely no gain on the GDP. Not even a blip on the GDP. We are endangering, first of all, the well-being and the jobs for many, many people by damaging brand South Africa. We could be damaging the brand South Africa to such an extent that we could be impacting negatively on the potential to grow.
Andrew Muir is widely considered to be South Africa's premier wildlife expert.
Our hunting, canned lion hunting lobby is so powerful and wealthy, and they have been able to, under the name of sustainable utilization, which is a relative term, try to justify their existence in terms of a industry. I think it is deplorable to have canned lion hunting in today's world, and I believe that canned hunting should be outlawed throughout the world because it is inhumane and there is no conservation value or justification to canned lion hunting or canned any other hunting.
Stuart Dorrington is president of Custodians of Professional Hunting and Conservation.
Well, I think lion hunting became so expensive in the rest of Africa as the human populations increased in the areas where you could hunt lions has decreased. The price of lion hunts started going through the roof, and people decided they could breed lions and sell them here at a fraction of the cost, much cheaper. And that's how it started. They're breeding lions here, and it's an easy hunt. You breed them, you release them into an open property, and usually within 24 hours you'll hunt your lion. That's how it was. And people made a lot of money. So it was driven by money, not by any conservation value. Most of us feel that hunting must support conservation. It must never be detrimental to conservation or detrimental to any species. If it's detrimental to a species, then you don't do it. And we felt that lion hunting has no benefit for wild lions. And not only that, it brings the whole industry into disrepute. You know, it's been used by the animal rightists and by the world to attack all of trophy hunting. It's focused the world attention on all the negatives of trophy hunting instead of the positives. And that's why that's what caused the split in the industry in the end, was the different views. The lion breeders viewed it, if it's legal, it's okay, it's sustainable use, and it is sustainable, it's not harming wild populations, but society just rejects it or repulsed by it. So it doesn't, and we just see that it's been used to beat up all of the hunting industry, the entire hunting industry. In the good, all the very good that's done through trophy hunting has been undermined by the lion industry.
Young cubs, some only a few days old, are taken away from their mothers and hand-reared, often to pet as tourist attractions.
You can sit by that one. You can sit by that one. It's fine.
In adolescence and beyond, the animals are regularly used for walking with lions tourism. However, as soon as the lions outgrow their usefulness, older animals, particularly the males, are often used for trophy hunting. A large male with an impressive mane can command as much as $55,000. Most lions are slaughtered for their bones. The skeletons are used in traditional medicines and for trinkets, mainly in Asian markets, where they are falsely believed to have medicinal qualities. One of the farms I flew over, Wagambiki, which advertises itself as an eco-farm, was visited last year by the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, which claims to have discovered a deplorable scene that one official described as a lion slaughterhouse. They discovered that 26 lions were killed there on one day, with a further 28 killed the following day. My investigators have obtained gruesome photographs of the scene at the time of their visit. Dead lions, some skinned and others waiting to be skinned, littered the floor of the blood-stained slaughterhouse. Elsewhere, lion skeletons and innards lay across part of the abattoir, while discarded internal body parts were piled high on a trailer outside. 2 men are now facing scores of animal welfare charges. In a sinister twist to the captive-bred lion trade, some operators in South Africa have also imported tigers, which have no place in Africa's wildlife, specifically to breed them with lions. This produces ligers, where the father is a lion and the mother is a tiger, and tigons, where the father is a tiger and the mother is a lion. This abusive breeding process, which often causes birth defects and the early death of cubs, is usually done to gain greater profits by speeding up the bone development of the hybrid. This can produce a 3-year-old animal the size of a 9-year-old lion, thereby generating more bone weight to sell once slaughtered. In recent years, we've become familiar with images of trophy hunters posing with their kills, and most people assumed that the lions were wild and had perhaps been tracked for days. The reality is that most hunted lions are shot in so-called canned hunts, where the captive bred animal is restricted to a confined area with little or no chance of escape. An undercover operative approached Magaba Safaris, owned and run by Patrick De Beer, saying he had an American client who wanted to shoot a lion. The British intermediary was quickly offered an online brochure with photographs of 16 male lions ranging in price from $13,000 to $26,000 US, depending on the size and quality of the mane. They soon settled on an older male lion that Mr. De Beer claimed was a very good cat with a dense mane. The operative was also sent a video of the lion, and they agreed a price tag of $23,000 US for the animal on behalf of the client. My team investigating can lion hunting have managed to secure a film of an illegal green hunt, where a targeted animal is shot with a tranquilizer dart. This took place in Northwest Province and was arranged by Freddie Sheepers of Kalahari Lion Hunting Safaris, a business associate of Mr. De Beer. A green hunt is used to get greater value from a single lion. The same animal will later be shot and killed by a trophy hunter who will pay far more than for a green hunt. The film shows several distressing scenes of a lion being shot with a tranquilizer dart. A British hunter was offered a lion for an agreed fee of $4,000 US. In the film, the lion is chased by the hunters in a 4x4 vehicle, cornered and shot. As the lion staggers around, drugged and dazed, the British hunter and Mr. Sheepers, who was only armed with a 9mm pistol, get off the vehicle to pursue the animal on foot through the bush. With the lion still not unconscious, the British hunter is instructed to shoot it again. Finally, he fires another dart from a distance of around 10 yards, hitting it this time higher in the thigh muscle. Eventually, the lion falls to the ground.
He's turning his head and there's no fight in it.
The British hunter and his accomplices are then photographed crouching over the unconscious or semi-conscious lion in what is known as the trophy shot. The lion is eventually carried onto a waiting trailer and driven away to an unknown destination. I believe all lions, other than arguably a small number in zoos, should be born, reared and die in a natural environment. The captive or canned lion industry is truly barbaric. Rarely, if ever, has any species of animal been so exploited. I have compiled a substantial dossier on my findings that I will send to all the relevant authorities in South Africa and beyond. I hope the authorities in South Africa are shocked and embarrassed into action, that they eventually pass laws to ban captive lion operations that so damage their country's international reputation. I call on the UK government to follow the lead of other nations, notably the US, France and the Netherlands, in banning the importation of captive lion trophies. As a nation, we must do our bit to try to stamp out this abhorrent practice.